Hi guys, you're now joining us on Nick's Lake, which is the largest of our 3 specimen lakes on site. On Nick's you will find 17 gravelled swims with a gravel path also going the whole way around the lake, which means easy access for all anglers. We only ever allow 10 anglers on here maximum due to the size of the lake, and we also believe it reduces the amount of angling pressure on the lake, enhancing the fishing. In Nick's you'll find around 240 plus carp, ranging from the £10 barrier up to around mid-30. Now join me around the lake as I'll talk you through a few of the areas and a few spots which you can find. I'm now on the far island with the swims patrolling this area, pegs 6 to 8 and then 9 to 10. As I butt right up against the island, I'm getting depths of around 2 foot, and again this is the same the whole way around the island with a ledge coming straight out. I'll now show you this ledge. I start to get depths of around 3 foot as I come around half a rod length of the island, and this is very even until I get around to about here, where I now start to have the drop off and get depths of around 4 to 4.5 foot. As you come out further, it then does drop off quite quickly and we start to get depths of around 5 foot. And as I then move into this deeper water, you're going to get areas of again 6 to 7 foot. And there are even some areas up this end in the middle that do drop down to around 8 foot in depth. If you come around a rod length off the tip of this island also, you're then going to get depths of around 4 foot, where it's then going to gradually drop into these deeper areas again. Hi guys, you now join me in peg 8 on Nick's, which is down the far end on the Finches bank. Down to my right, there's a reed line margin, which has produced loads of fish over the years that I've worked here, with depths of around 3 to 4 foot, with areas slightly deeper in places going to around 5 foot. As we drop off through the margin, we do get depths of around 7 foot in the middle, with 5-6 foot also being an average to go at. Then as I move along the swim, you've then got the island with a small little plateau on the end of it with around 4 foot. And then as I come up the island, you've also got depths of around 3 to 4 foot, which will produce also lots of fish through the years. When you get up early morning in this swim, you'll always see bubblers and fish showing. You now join me in peg 5 on Nick's Lake, which does command a lot of water through the central area. As you can see behind me, you've got one of the big islands which many anglers do choose to fish to. The island does cut straight down to around 3 to 4 foot in depth and then slopes off and then cuts off again to around 5 to 6 foot, which is very uniform for this lake. To my left, you won't be able to see it, however there's a large plateau which runs between 4 and 5 and out just towards the island, and as you come around 3 to 4 rod lengths off the island you will also find the edge of it. On top of this plateau you can find depths of around 3 to 5 foot, and then it will obviously come back up to the margin where it will be 0 foot. In the mornings you will see a lot of bubbling and fizzers, and I always say to people to fish to these even if you have put bait out on a spot, as a solid bag's done many a fish on here and it's a deadly tactic. I'm now out on the middle island, which runs from pegs 11 to 13, and then on the opposite side it runs from pegs 3 to 5. This island is cut the same the whole way around with a large ledge which is very sharp straight off the island. Right up against the island I'm getting depths of around 2 foot. However, as I do start to come off, the ledge levels out at around 3 to 3.5 foot. However, as you come out further, I'll now show you where the edge of this ledge is. As I get to around here, which is around a rod length off the island, I'm now getting around 5 foot of water, and as we hit this edge of the ledge, we then start to level out and get into the deeper areas of the lake, which as we know already run to around 6 to 7 foot. I'm now out in front of pegs 14 and 15 on Nick's Lake. As you can see, up against the island again it is quite shallow, being only around 1 foot in depth. However, as you do come off, it does drop much quicker than the other side did. We're now getting around 3 foot in depth as you come around 3 to 4 foot off of the island. As I keep making my way out to around a rod length off of the island, you then start to get depths of around 4 foot within this area, and there is quite a sharp decline here as I only move a small amount of room, I am then getting around 5 foot in depth. After this, it does start to level out a little bit more, and then we start to see then more uniform depths of around 6 to 7 foot, as does the rest of the lake. I'm now out in front of peg 16, and right up against the island here, we're getting depths of around the foot. However, as you do come around half a rod length off the island, you do get a slight gradual drop, and we're now getting depths of around 2 foot. We start to hit depths of around 3 foot as we start to get around a rod length off the island. However, as we get to around a rod length and a half, we do get much deeper depths of around 5 foot here. It then continues to gradually drop until we get into depths of around 6 to 6.5 foot and 7 foot in some places, where that is around the normal depth within this lake. You now join me in Peg 1 on Nix Lake, which is the closest end to the car park, so it is only a short walk. As you can see, it does patrol a lot of the margin where the fish do like to hold up all year round. The sun always comes up on the east and sets on the west, so this area does have the sun on it for a majority of the day, which in the summer and also the winter is brilliant, as the fish do like to sit through it. Through the middle of the channel, you get depths of around 5 to 6 foot, which is very uniform for the lake. However, I always recommend someone has a rod down the margin in this swim, as they do love to get in tight underneath the banks and just underneath your feet. I'm now going to walk you through some of the gear which we do supply on Nix, which includes fish care to keep the lake secure and nice and safe. I'm now going to run you through the fish care equipment which we do supply only on Nix Lake. This does include a 42-inch landing net, a nice well padded cradle, a sling and also a water refresh bucket to keep the fish nice and healthy whilst on the bank. On arrival, you will be met by one of the bailiffs who will give this equipment to you, and we will take your name, your number and also your car reg details, so we know the equipment will be given back. If any damage is caused to the equipment, unfortunately we will have to charge due to this equipment not being cheap and us wanting to always supply with the best gear possible.